we've always felt very much a part of the Gluepot family, and a family it was. So here we go.
It was really a concert venue for Auckland, and was such up until the 1990, I suppose. I think it held about 700,000 people. I don't know if that's legal capacity or not, but I know it was big.
It was been stormy weather. If I come and get you something continental.
Citizen Band did, the Dudes did, Sheerlux did, Toy Love probably did. Pretty much everyone, I would say, at some point played there that was around and able to play in the 70s and 80s. It was, really a rite of passage in a way.
Set yourself on fire. Like rust in my car. Like rust in my car. Like rust in my car. Ooh, and if you want, you could go so far.
What does the Gluepot mean to you?
Well, I remember when the Gluepot was first mentioned, Hello Sailor put posters around town, Hello Sailor the Gluepot, we all thought they're going to be killed, because it really wasn't a pub that was deemed to be, that's why it was called the Gluepot. And they filled it up, and so everybody thought, shit, we want to play there too. And so our first gig there was in 1978, I think, late 78. And we realised that was the place that everybody wanted to go.
Been driven out of your grave and made it look more to life than attraction in the rain.
There was no sport on TV at night. There was no cafe society. So people, what are we going to do? We're 18 to 25. We're going to go to see a band. So there were like 15 venues all dotted over Auckland, and you just chose which one you were going to go to see what band. That's all been dissipated now by all the other things you can do. So we were lucky that it was the thing to do at the time, and the Gluepot was the primo venue.
Ooh, if you want, you could go so far.
Beer and jugs, and of course people could smoke, and then at the end of the night, I think at 10 o'clock closing, they'd sound the alarms to drive the people out. This incredible noise. If you were in the band, you had to sort of stick around and pack out. Not only did you have to deal with playing loud music for an hour and a half, but then this incredible bell, drive you crazy, but so the bells would go off, and then I believe that people would keep drinking after that. I'm told.
These nights here at the power station, you look out and you think, no, we carry that flag and we proved it, because albums like Nature's Best that sell in 200,000 copies. Well, New Zealand loves its popular music and will hold on to it. That woman who just stopped me downstairs, that is the embodiment of a pop song from 78, 79. We'll be with her. As she said, when are you going to come and play the old folk songs? We will play the old folk songs, because we know those people still want to hear those songs.
Who's that on the driveway? We'll drive home this one day.
The songs from all the groups were about the lives you were living. You were living about your hopes, your dreams. It was a tough country. They were about the drugs.
And it was a tough country. In 81, with that Springbok Tour protest movement, that proved that a generation had arrived that wasn't going to take it anymore. And so, like the words, Graham Brace's Blue Lady. What is the Blue Lady?
I find myself a blue lady, humming through the night. Me and my blue lady make this chance so I can go out you sharp. Gonna need an exorcist. Help you out the dark. And when that's over, you'll be a creature in the night. Ooh, blue lady. Ooh, la la lady. Ooh, blue lady. Ooh, blue lady. Ooh, blue lady. And Peter Adams and the Ham and Gamble bands and Herbs. Give it up for Herbs, ladies and gentlemen. On the guitar, David McArtney. Very shy from the sweet suburb of Mount Roskill Grammar, initially from the United Kingdom of Tonga, Dubai, London, all points north, south, east, and west. He's a little bit shy, give him a big hand. Paul Warright on the bass guitar. Now the man that gets to sit down on the job, on the drums, possibly one of the greatest drummers to ever come out of Australasia, if not the world, Mr. Frederick Gundaball, Ricky Ball on the drums.
And a big hand too for the man in the middle on vocals, harmonica, tambourine, guitar, Graham Brazier.
Check it out, man.
we felt that we were living in a dump compared to Australia, America, and England. And I've been lucky enough to be in split ends and to get a taste of what those industries were like. And New Zealand had none. So Hello Sailor started it, and we had the voice, and that's what this is about, the celebration of the arrival of a young person's voice.
You give me so much, all the time. You better stop it, or I lose my mind. No matter how hard I try, tears keep filling my eyes. But when you're here, so help me dear, I feel good, I feel good, I feel good, good.
There are probably, maybe half a dozen bands that could draw 1,000 people, maybe. There would be, Citizen Band, the Dudes, Hello Sailor, those kind of bands. It was tough, but it was good schooling, and it made you realise that chosen occupation to be a musician was a tough one.
No matter how hard I try, the tears keep filling my eyes. But when you're here, so help me dear, I feel good, I feel good, I feel good, good.
A drink to forget and take drugs to forget attitude, where we're on the cusp.
I think there was a naivety in that drugs took you to certain places that were extremely exciting and absolved you of responsibilities, or allowed you to maybe see a B-grade movie and turn it into something really exciting. I think now, though, we know the downside of all that, and we were like guinea pigs of our own experiment. But would I change anything? I've had some very bad periods of life after experimenting and all that. No, I don't think I'd change a thing,
So much, all the time. You better stop it, or I lose my mind.
What have people told you about the Gluepot, and why are they coming to Gluepot Reunion Nights? That's pretty special for a pub that's been torn down a decade or so.
I think that because of the 10 o'clock closing, there are always parties after the gigs as well, and I think it was just the kind of place that had a vibe, and I can't really tell you. It was probably to do with the culture in the pub itself, the fact that it had big bands playing there and lots of them. So that probably sticks in everyone's mind. There's some big nights at the Gluepot.
Why'd they pull it down? Why'd the Gluepot become apartments? And have people walk past after they see this video and go, that used to be a rocking pub?
Same reason that His Majesty's came down, because there are people with no sense of the value of imagination in the lives they lead. So whoever authorised or thought of turning the Gluepot into a pub, whoever pulled down His Majesty's Theatre, they're not colourful, evocative people. And so you're going to show this, and people go, so it's all about making sure that we tell everybody the life you lead can't be all about making money. It has to be about excitement and colour and, like tonight, we're all out the back having a drink or two. It's like a school reunion, even though at the time, 78, 79, we didn't really see each other because we were competitive and we're trying to be rich and famous and all playing different gigs around town, but tonight we're all at the same gig. And there's a really beautiful bond out the back, so I think it was a period of time that we hold very dear to us.
Long ago, was so long ago.
Oh gosh, I think everybody in Auckland, especially central Auckland, has been involved in the music, the band, or anything to do with the music industry. At some stage, you will have located the Gluepot and participated in drinking there and indulging in everything that's obviously happened there over the years at the Gluepot. It was like a real magnet for especially Polynesian people and that, and New Zealanders, even Herbs. You know, we're a band from Ponsonby, so it doesn't surprise me that having these concerts for in memory of the Gluepot, they've all been sold out, and they're just the people that are turning up. Obviously, they're Ponsonby people.
Well, let's narrow into Ponsonby people. What was Ponsonby like when the Gluepot was in its heyday?
No.
It was Polynesian. It had its own sound. It wasn't Parnell.
You had Poms, you had Americans, you had Australians, you had Polynesians from every Pacific nation in the Pacific. There's a real salad bowl. I was going to say melting pot, but the salad bowl is probably a better identity, because in the salad bowl everybody keeps their own identity, and for me over the years, and that from the early 60s right through, it was a real salad bowl.
It was a pub. It was a local pub that people could mix at.
I was going to get to that. Yeah. and the most thing used in the working class people is the 7-ounce glass of beer, and it was a pub. But in the pub was all this talent. I mean, it was huge. I mean, you know, after the guys had drunk 3 or 4 jugs, this character would change, and you know, and you know, maybe a year later you'd see them on stage playing a guitar or singing songs and acting out you know, their skills from other things that they did. But it was a real pub. I mean, DB Breweries had a great time there. I'm sure the DB family and that were very popular in those days. I know the guy that used to do the booking there, or Eddie Cook. I used to book the entertainment there for years and that, and I remember going there in the early 60s to see a blind band called Radars, and their little Holden PA system. The place was packed like it always used to be when Herbs used to play there.
There were some regulars there, and one of the regulars were the Cobras. Tell us about them.
Wow, and these guys here too. I mean, this is the Polynesian Panther Party T-shirt I'm wearing here. They had an anniversary recently, and in you know, most modern cities in the 60s and that, most cities around the world had gathering of young gangs and that were starting to make their mark around the world. And you know, from our perspective, we've seen them as another extended family where a lot of young people were not having happy lives at home and that, and yet they found a group of people of similar circumstances and that, but a little bit off the rails, and they found their camaraderie together, and hence the King Cobbers Club was born in the early 50s and that. And obviously, you know, I believe they're the oldest street gang in New Zealand.
Thinking about my baby, looking at my life go by. Help me out here. Falling down the streets of Rome, laughing at the poor man, talking to the blind man.
tell us about the stuff you could get dope, you could get pills, you could whatever.
I hope I don't get in trouble here. It was 20% of the tag ticket, so you just work it out from there. But there was, you know, it wasn't everybody wasn't into buying gear like that at the 20% of the tag. But I think now these days I've seen more people will spend their money for the 20% stuff that they can get now more than what they used to. It just seems to be the way of the world and the way of economics, the way our money, resisting on money, and you can get something a little bit cheaper than the usual. The public bars were the places, but it's like now you don't see many public bars anymore. It's like they've been knocked over with the hotels that, for probably that reason. You know, they've turned the drinking houses now turned into RSAs, sporting clubs, and stuff like that, which have a more personal sort of policing in their own membership themselves. So the days with the pub and that are very limited, but they don't have the same entertainment value that like they used to, like the Gluepot used to. Anyway.
No, because the Gluepot you could wonder, and there's some characters. There were some tough characters and stuff. There were some tough men in there, and there were some funny men, and some adventures happened.
Certainly, the Gluepot had its name in regards to having some tough nuts in there. And you know, I've seen a few fights in there, man, and they were vicious. You know, they were hard, belting each other, cutting the shit out of each other. But thankfully, most people, seeing it getting too far one-sided, would jump and break it up, send it outside, and hopefully by then they'd cool off. But there'd be some beauties in there. I've seen, you know, even axes, tomahawks, big bush knives, and everything. I mean, shit, you know, you'd run 100 miles from that sort of stuff.
The other side of another world, scratch my back on colored girls, yeah.
The thing about the Gluepot, music-wise, you hadn't played Auckland unless you played the Gluepot. It was one of those venues like the Cow Station, a rock venue, you know. It was a pub, a bar that you had to play in, and to almost be part of your touring venue.
Won't you tell me the truth?
I mean, it was renowned for having entertainment in their band, music from all over the world. I mean, I've seen Mick Jagger do an afternoon session there, you know, just a one-off, unheard of.
What was the Ponsonby sound? Did it start with a ska, become reggae, become pop? What is that Ponsonby sound?
I think you've got to go back to the rootsy blues and rock stuff and that, and any new style of music that came out, you guarantee you could hear it the next week in the Gluepot.
You walked into that, either the music bar or the public bar at the Gluepot, and an adventure was waiting to happen.
Yeah, you have to keep an open mind in those days. But we're going to see a couple of friends in that there, but where you end up at the end of the night, it could, you know, it's something that developed from within the pub. It had its own way of orchestrating you onto another venue, another place, another party, group of people, and you get invited back again. You know, that's one thing I always found out. The punters that are coming to the concerts are people that have great and fond memories of the Gluepot. They're great friendships of other people, great cultures of other people. The human being factor, it doesn't exist anywhere else. And it's only remembered through the bands that are playing here today.
Hello Sana and Dragon, etc. They came out of there as well. They weren't the herd sound, but they had their own.
The bands that ended up international, and they were local of the Ponsonby Gluepot. Ponsonby Three Lamps. They were local lads.
What does the word Gluepot mean to Graham Brazier and Hello Sailor?
Well, I lived down the roads when I was a rubbishman. It was my local drinking hole. So the Gluepot will always be my local. When it was there,
It was a tough pub.
well, but thinking about the people that played there, the people that are no longer here that played there, I've got to hold it up as being, and it's a cliche, it's a terrible, as iconic, I guess. Even though it was a shitty gig, it was iconic. It was the only one round in those days that did what it did for 1,500 people and under. Not people of 15 years of age or under, but 15.
They wouldn't wander into a pub because pubs were tough. You had upstairs, you had the public bar was tough.
The Vista Bar downstairs as a place after finishing a hard day's work on the rubbish trucks to go and have a beer was wonderful.
There were working class people spending their money wisely.
It was very much a blue collar bar. We were born in sight of the Liverpool dock, when the call of the sea was a sound of poverty. So they write you down on their social list, songs of war and girls that don't exist, and how we can't be free. Yesterday we were 10 years old. Yesterday we were freezing cold. Yesterday the heart is bought and sold. But now we are believable.
The Ponsonby was a community pub as well. That's another thing I really miss about it, is that quite apart from playing there, it was somewhere at the corner bar in particular you could call into, and there would always be somebody there that you knew.
Stand and fight troubled times, and we must unite at the chain that bind us be. There's no need to shout, everybody knows it's rooted now, our English rules. Let's storm that last
Mixture of this late 70s, early 80s, the cocktail of the alcohol and the drugs, the Blue Lady, etc. Was it people escaping from what was a hard country? We're under Muldoon, we're under all sorts of nonsense.
It would be no different, you know, my friend, than any working class people that are under the hammer. Whatever one must do to get through the day, and whatever one must do to relax after getting through that day. Same, different times. Same rules apply. Not that there are rules. Rules are made to be broken. Not that I've ever broken any, but yeah. And you hear how the drums they roll. Street boy must take its toll. For now we are I did those feet in ancient times, when they walk up on England's mountains green.